Hi students, welcome back to this channel English Literature with Irdam. As we started a series of 100 most important and all times classical characters appeared in English literature, and we have done with the first part of this series, and today we will continue with the second part. And remember that these all characters are asked somewhere in the exams. And if you are an aspirant of any competitive exam, or you are preparing for any eligibility exam like NET, SET, JRF, or you are preparing for any job exam, then this video is for you. So let us continue with this series. The next famous character is Sula piece that appears in Sula by Toni Morrison, published in 1973. Remember that Toni Morrison is a Nobel laureate writer, and she is the most representative writer of Black literature, and her almost all works are important and go through her Nobel Prize speech also. That is about the language and its power, and how language can change the mentality of society. Then we have Marusalt, uh, created by Albert Camus in The Stranger, published in 1942. Again, another famous character that is absurdist character, and also the Albert Camus is known for the existentialism. And go through all the works of Albert Camus; they are equally important. Then we have Jack Burns that appears in Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises in 1926. And Ernest Hemingway is again uh, a Nobel laureate, and his other works like Farewell to Arms, Old Man and the Sea are also important. So go through these works. And remember that this Sun Also Rises is about the bull fighting. So this is exam level question. Remember it. Next we have Phoebe Caulfield appears in J.D. Slinger's The Catcher in the Rye, published in 1951. Next we have Jenny Crawford that appears in Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God, published in 1937. Then next we have Antonia Shimerda that appears in Villa Carter's by Antonia, published in 1918. Then next we have Grendel that appears in John Gardner's Grendel, published in 1971. The next character we have Gully Jimson that appears in Joyce Carey's The Horse Moth, published in 1944. The next famous character, Big Brother, that appears in George Orwell's dystopian novel 1984, and it was published in 1949. Also, The Animal Farm by George Orwell is equally important. So go through that work also. Then next we have Tom Ripley that appears in Patricia Highsmith's The Talented Mr. Ripley, published in 1955. Then next we have Seymour Glass that appears in J.D. Slinger's 9 Stories, published in 1953. Remember that Seymour Glass is all-time favorite character of J.D. Salinger. Next we have Dean Moriarty, that appears in Jack Kerouac's On the Road, published in 1957. Also, Roland Barthes' Mythologies, published in 1957. So, I remember this year also. Then we have Charlotte, that appears in E.B. White's Charlotte Web, published in 1952. Then we have T.S. Gobb, that appears in John Irving, The World According to Garth, and it was published in 1978. And Orientalism by Edward Said was also published in 1978. So remember this here. Then we have Nick and Nora Charles. They were created by Dashiell Hammett in The Thin Man, and it was published in 1934. Then James Bond published a famous character created by Ian Fleming in Casino Royale, published in 1953. Then we have Mr. Bridge, that appears in Evan S. Connell's Mrs. Bridge, that was published in 1959. The next in this list, we have Geoffrey Furman, that appears in Under the Volcano by Malcolm Lowry, and it was published in 1947. Then we have Benji, who is a handicapped narrator, and it appears in The Sound and Fury by William Faulkner, published in 1929. And remember that this 1929 is also associated with the Virginia Woolf's A Room of One Song. So remember it. Then we have Charles Kinboard's Pale Fire. Charles Kinboard, that was created by Vladimir Nabokov in Pale Fire, and it was published in 1962. Then next we have Mary Catherine Blackwood, and it was created by Shirley Jackson in We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and it was published in 1962. Then we have Charles Ryder, and it was created by Evelyn Waugh in Brideshead Revisited, and it was published in 1945. Then we have Claudine. It was created by Colette in Claudine at School, and it was published in 1900, which is 1900. Okay. Then next we have Florentino Ariza, and it was created by Gabriel Garcia Marx in Love in the Time of Cholera, and it was published in 1985. Also, 1985 is famous for the publication of political or material Shakespeare. So remember that work as well. The next we have George Folinsbee Babbitt, created by Sinclair Lewis in Babbitt, and it was published in 1922 on the same year of Wasteland and the Hairy Ape, and Ulysses by Jim Joyce as well. Then next we have Christopher Titans, and it was created by Ford Maddox Ford in Parade's End, and it was published between 1924 to 1928. Then next we have Frankie Adams, created by Carson McCullers, and in the famous work, The Member of the Wedding, and it was published in 1946. The next we have The Dog of Tears, created by Jose Saramago in famous novel Blindness in 1995. The next we have Tarzan, that was created by Edgar Rice Burroughs in Tarzan of the Alps, and it was published in 1914. Then next we have Nathan Zuckerman. It was created by Philip Roth in My Life as a Man, and it was published in 1979. Then next we have Arthur B. Radley, and it was created by Harper Lee in To Kill a Mockingbird, and it was published in 1960. Then next we have Henry Chinaski. It was created by Charles Bukowski in Post Office, and it was published in 1971. Then next we have Joseph K, created by Franz Kafka in The Trial, and it was published in 1925. And Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf was also published in 1925. So remember that year also. Then next we have Yuri Zhivago, created by Boris Pasternak in Dr. Zhivago, and it was published in 1957. Then next we have Harry Potter, famous character created by J.K. Rowling, and it was created in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone series, and it was published in 1998. Then we have Hannah. It was created by Mikhail Ondatje in famous work The English Patient, and it was published in 1992. And you have a question that who is the English patient here? Okay, find it. Then next we have Margaret Skelgel. It was created by E.M. Foster in Howard's End, and it was published in 1910. The next we have Jim Digson, created by Kingsley Amis in Lucky Jim, and it was published in 1954. Then we have Maurice Bendrix, created by Graham Greene in The End of the Affair, and it was published in 1951. Then we have Lenny Small, created by John Steinbeck in Of Mice and Men, and it was published in 1937. Then next we have Mr. Biswas, a famous post-colonial character created by V.S. Naipaul in A Horse for Mr. Biswas, and it was published in 1961. And remember that Biswas dreams for constructing and building his own horse. And there appears the Tulsi family, where Mr. Biswas is living in this novel. Then next we have Alden Pyle, created by Graham Greene in The Quiet American, and it was published in 1955. Also, there are other works written by Graham Greene are The Power and the Glory and The Heart of the Matter. So please go through those works as well. Then next we have Kimball O'Hara, created by Rudyard Kipling in Kim, and it was published in 1901. And remember the different cities where this Kim as a young boy visits. So those cities are important. Then next we have Newland Archer, and it was created by Edith Wharton in Age of Innocence, and it was published in 1920. Then next we have Clyde Griffiths, and it was created by Theodore Dreiser in An American Tragedy, and it was published in 1925. So remember this 1925, it is linked with various works as they were published in 1925. So list all those works. Then we have Ior, and it was created by A. Milne in Winnie the Pooh, and it was published in 1926. Then next we have Quentin Kempson. Quentin Compson, that was created by William Faulkner in The Sound and the Fury, and it was published in 1929. And also Quentin Compson and Benjay and one or two more narrators appear in this novel. So remember those narrators as well. Then we have Charles Marlowe, the all-time favorite character of Joseph Conrad, and it was though appeared in Heart of Darkness in 1902. It has been appeared in other works of Joseph Conrad as well. So point out those works. Then next we have Silly, who appears in The Color Purple by Alice Walker, and it was published in 1982. And remember that Silly is the character who, within the story, writes the letters to the god. So it becomes important. Then next we have Aggie March. It was created by Saul Bellow in The Adventure of Aggie March, and it was published in 1953. So this is the list of 100 most important characters who appear and created in English literature by various diverse writers. So